We haven't put out a record for 6 years, and that's the longest that we've ever gone. We obviously lost a friend and band member in 2022, like 6 weeks before we were all due to start recording the album.
Can I be honest and admit, I'd never seen you guys play live before, and on my way into work today... Shame on me. It is shame on me. Genuinely, I'm not saying it, I've never seen anything like it, and I watched, literally, rather than doing loads of research, as you'll find out in this interview, I was just watching you guys playing live in, like, Hungary and stuff like that.
We came out of the ashes of punk rock, you know, so the idea of getting up there and do it yourself kind of thing...
it kind of scared me, and I like it. I liked it. David Garn, Martin Gore, Depeche Mode. It's amazing to have you in the studio, fellas.
Hello.
Great to have you here. Sometimes I think to myself, why don't bands hang out with each other a bit more, you know, like when they're finished touring and all that kind of stuff? And I've just scrolled through the tour dates for your Memento Mori tour. It is massive. It's like 5 scrolls of my thumb.
Yeah, we just got started as well. Yeah, we haven't.
So there's more to come.
There's more, I think, because we're doing a short little North American tour to kick off the record.
Yeah.
First shows coming up. Then in September, October, November, I think they just announced another sort of 40 shows.
I mean, you look at that list of stuff, you know, it's amazing. How does that make you feel? Because I was scared on your behalf looking at it.
Terrified. I mean, I don't like opening the whole sheets up, like especially Jonathan, their manager, who's in there somewhere. When I say, what's that one underneath there? You know, like he'll show me the first sheet, and I'm like, "What's that?" No, you don't want to look at that. You don't want to look at that right now. You don't need to look at that right
now. I just want to look just to see that there's some blank dates.
Yeah, I like the blank ones.
What do you do? What's a Depeche Mode day off? What do you do?
Well, when we see the 2 blank dates, that's important because you know one of those blank dates is flying somewhere.
Yeah.
And the next blank date, hopefully, is a day off.
Yeah.
Where you are somewhere before the show the next day.
I thought you guys might go bowling or something, or Laser Quest.
Bowling? No, we haven't been bowling for a long time. I do like bowling though. It's fun. It's one of those things you talk about doing a lot, but you don't actually do. Right?
No, exactly. I talk about it.
Which is why it's fun when you do go.
Exactly. Yeah.
17th of June for Twickenham on this incredible world tour as we've been talking about. First tour in 5 years, unless I've got that wrong.
Probably,
so like,
yeah, because you got to put COVID in
well, exactly.
there and all that.
So like with the amount of devotees that you guys have, like an extensive tour like this must mean even more to be able to like connect with people again after like so much time apart.
Yeah, I mean it's been a while, but these dates, the first dates that we put up, they sold out so fast, and it's a great. It's like 1.5 million tickets or something like that. The first,
wow, it's crazy.
But we were after a week, and so that's the planning for more shows. But we've been very fortunate over the years with when it comes to our people coming to see us. It's been 40 plus years now. This is the longest period since we put out a record and went on tour, but yeah, you had to put in there the whole lockdown into the middle of that as well, where we all just were kind of lost somewhere. But out of that, I mean, Martin wrote a lot of songs during that time, during that period. I didn't write a lot, to be honest, a couple of things, but you want to talk about that, Mark?
Well, yeah, I mean, obviously it was a terrible time, but good for a writer because you get an extended period to write as many songs as you want.
Because those people tried to do better themselves during lockdown, didn't they? Like, the lad who lives next door to me bought a tyre, half submerged it in the back garden. He used to hit it with a lump hammer every lunchtime. It's good for your upper body, apparently. I don't know if you got involved with any of that, Martin. But
I didn't do any of that kind of stuff. I just lent into doing nothing.
Yeah, and it's rare. Normally you're on the move.
I played a lot of guitar. I enjoyed that,
And so what's your writing process like then, Martin? What do you do? Do you have to get out away from people and go and write?
I have a studio at home, so I think that was one of the things that kept me sane because I went there pretty much every weekday.
In a kind of go to work type sense, I guess. Yeah.
I have like my set hours. I have to clock in and clock out.
Brilliant. Lunch break, half an hour.
I can vouch for that. Yeah. I've been there a lot too. I know the routine.
My lunchtime's very important.
Very important. I get there after Mark's lunchtime.
Does he get hangry? Is it hangry? Is that the word?
He's already like edgy and ready.
Can I be honest and admit, I'd never seen you guys play live before, and on my way into work today, shame on me. It is shame on me. I just sat there and watched a load of YouTube clips of you playing live. I've never seen anything like it. I've been absolutely blown away by how edgy and the menace of you guys playing live. Genuinely, I'm not saying it, I've never seen anything like it. And I watched, literally, rather than doing loads of research, as you'll find out in this interview, I was just watching you guys playing live in like Hungary and stuff like that. I love bands that have been together for a long amount of time, but there's still menace there, and there's a real crunch in what you're doing. So was that important to you guys not to? Because sometimes people get soft, the sound gets soft as you've been doing it for a long time.
People have always commented on it as well. I mean, to a point, we have the record that we're out touring with or whatever that we use as a template at how we want to sound or how we want to set up the show and stuff like that. But the sound is quite different live to what it is on record quite often. That's just the way it is. Probably for most bands, I should imagine. But yeah, I mean, our gigs are quite an event, I guess.
It kind of scared me, and I like it. I like it.
Yeah, well, we come as well. You have to remember that when we came out of the ashes of punk rock, so the idea of getting up there and the do-it-yourself kind of thing, as punk was dying out in England in the late 70s, those bands like ourselves kind of came out of the ashes of that. So we had that ethic still of how to perform, and a lot of my kind of performance on stage came out of fear, really, of just like fear of, I learned that if I move around a lot and I wasn't so afraid, and if I kind of attacked people a little more with the way I was performing, that seemed to work as well. I don't mean physically attack, but I don't want people to get the wrong idea.
Let's talk about Memento Mori out today. Obviously a project that was started at the beginning of the pandemic. Obviously it's a really strange time to be working through that, but was it still fun to make despite all that? I mean, it's a challenging time surrounding it all.
We haven't put out a record for 6 years, and that's the longest that we've ever gone. So I think it was we obviously lost a friend and band member in 2022, like 6 weeks before we were all due to start recording the album. So I think that we decided to carry on, partly to mentally help us get over that and focus on music. But also, I think it was important for us to like move and start working again, because we've just been sitting around, not really doing anything. It feels good to actually get out and be doing something again.
No, I bet. I mean, the video to Ghosts Again, I have to say from a show perspective, whenever we've played Ghosts Again, it's had the most amazing reaction from the listeners texting in saying, oh my God, we absolutely love it. So it's been great to play that on Home Time. But the video, black and white video of you two playing chess against each other, undercurrents of Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, and I respect you both for that, in these kind of cloaks playing chess. With that in mind and the tour, do you play any games on tour? I'm a big board game guy. I love playing board games. Do you play Wordle, or is Martin doing Candy Crush Saga? I was tuning the guitars.
I do Wordle every day. Yeah.
Do you?
Yes.
Are you good?
I'm reasonably good at it.
All right, if you may say so yourself.
I got it in 2 today.
Good on you. We'll chat for you, Martin. David, do you get any gaming, stuff like that? Any games?
Not really, no. I just sort of stare into space a lot.
Okay, I'll give that a
try. Leave us with a positive message. I mean, Memento Mori, unless my linguistics is awful, the inevitability of death. But it doesn't have to be as bleak as it sounds. There's a positive message that we can all take from that concept.
Well, Martin says it the best. It's like there's also, it actually directly translates to remember that you must die. Remember that you must die, I believe. Yeah, but it's to celebrate life.
Yeah.
So
make the most of your life.
Yeah, make the most of your life, and the one that we, seem to be battling against, all of us, like especially during lockdown. I think everybody had those moments of like, is this it? Is this the
this
end?
Could be it, curtains.
Is this the end? I personally really lent into that, but during that time, I kind of like accepted it, and I was like, life's been pretty amazing.
One final question. I was going to ask this and I wasn't going to ask it, and then I'm just going to ask it now. Obviously, you guys are from Basildon, down the road from me and Leigh-on-Sea. Are you aware of the phrase Bas Vegas in terms of Basildon? That's what we call Basildon down there. Are you aware of that phrase, Bas Vegas?
There's an area.
There is an area. There was an area
that was known as Bas Vegas. Yeah.
Really?
There really is a place, I believe. Yes, isn't it?
Yeah. There was. I mean,
what an amazing exchange of information.
Unless I dreamt it. But I've heard of Bas Vegas.
That's fantastic. So I
think that's also horrifying, isn't it? Like it's horrifying. What is that?
I don't know. I don't know what it is, but that's an amazing thing. I just wanted to impart that information, and I've come away this evening with something even more. So amazing, guys! Go get the new album. It's fantastic. Go and see them on tour as well. It's one hell of a stage show. David Garner, Martin Gore, Depeche Mode. Thank you.
Thanks very much. Cheers, guys.